Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys some major breaking news for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. We have the official confirmation that we are getting a Sasuke and Boruto arc, something that so many people have wanted to see in anime format for a very long time, which is Sasuke and Boruto spending extended time together as master and student in particular. We briefly saw this in the anime when you had the whole time slip arc and they were dealing with Urashiki. However, as we all remember, every time it looked like Sasuke's chakra was about to recover, Urashiki just ripped Sasuke's chakra out of here. Now we have an arc where Sasuke's chakra does not run out because there's nobody to steal it, and we're going to be getting 6 to 8 episodes dealing with the bond of master and student in this arc. We have brand new spoilers coming courtesy of Organic Dinosaur. As always, much appreciation to Organic Dinosaur for going out of her way to purchase the magazines in order to give us the spoilers. So jumping right into the spoilers, we have episode 275 titled Taken to the Skies once again, which is going to be airing on November 13th. And it says Boruto has befriended a young boy named Suzara who loves animals. However, Suzara's treasured hawk has suddenly and unexpectedly fallen into the hands of someone else. Suzara does not want to relinquish the hawk because it is yet to recover from its previous injuries. But in that moment, Suzara receives some gut-wrenching news. Suzara is shocked and tries to put up a fierce fight all on his own so that he doesn't have to part with his beloved hawk. Coincidentally, Boruto hears this news and wants to help out Suzara too. Boruto then breaks off into a run without even hearing Sasuke's orders to stop. Now that one right there, that is so telling right there, because we're seeing some of the immaturity out of Boruto that you're gonna have Sasuke begin to start ironing out, especially as they start going on all these different missions across the ninja world together. Because if Boruto's gonna travel with Sasuke, he's gonna have to learn how to follow orders, especially given the delicate nature of the types of missions that Sasuke likes to go on. If Boruto's gonna be with Sasuke and learn what it means to be a Shadow Hokage, that is one of those things that Boruto is really gonna have to tamper down that impatient impulse that he has, as well as that tendency to stick his head where it doesn't belong, because Boruto's someone with a big heart, and unfortunately with the type of missions that Sasuke tends to take, heart can get somebody killed. That side of Boruto, as we know in the manga, is still a thing, especially if the boy wants the title Shadow Hokage. But in the meantime, he can always get the title of Young Lord by visiting Established Titles, the sponsor of today's video. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping with global reforestation efforts. It's a project based in historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, or lords and ladies in English. With Established Titles, you get at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with the crest, which has a unique plot number to show you your land. Established Titles plants a tree with every order they receive and work with charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. Just as Naruto gets to call himself Lord Hokage, you can officially call yourself Lord or Lady, which now that I have this certificate calling me a Lord, it's going to be on my desk and everybody who comes to my office has to call me the Lord. And you can get it on your credit card or your plane tickets, or you sussy bakas can even use it on your dating profiles. If you go for the romantic route, you can also purchase the couples pack, which comes with adjoining plots of land. The first 200 people purchasing the title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance from it. Depending on how many of you guys want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little Naruto Explained kingdom. My late grandmother, who just passed away, not only loved flowers but also trees as well, so I'm gonna purchase one to honor my late grandmother. It makes an amazing last minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an early Black Friday sale, plus if you use the promo code EXPLAIN, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/explain to get your gift and help support the channel. Thank you again to Established Titles for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so now moving on to episode number 276. This one's going to be titled Welcome to the Labyrinth, which is going to be airing on November 20th. And this was broadcast to us courtesy of Animedia magazine. And with this one, it says Boruto started to completely doze off after he boarded the Thunder Rail. After a short while, Boruto suddenly woke up. Even though Boruto was still together with the same group of passengers who boarded the same Thunder Rail as him, he unexpectedly found himself in a strange place. The passengers are especially confused by the situation. An enigmatic person named Olga is forcing them to participate in an experiment that will put their lives on the line. The pretense of this experiment will be a death game. Who will definitely clear it and safely return home from this ordeal? Now that's interesting. So according to Organic Dinosaur with the translator note, death game in this context is referring to a fictional genre like horror fiction, one where obviously lives are at stake. Example, okay, so like Battle Royale, okay, Hunger Games and Squid Games. That's gonna be interesting. So looks like Boruto got himself into something, and more than likely Sasuke knew what was going on and was trying to warn his student not to get into it. So this would be a good lesson for Boruto to learn right here. I like that right there. That has some potential. So episode 277 is going to be airing on November 27th, and this was also published in Animedia magazine. And this one says, due to the perilous experimentation, the test subjects keep dropping out one after the other. Boruto's trying to figure out a way for all of the test subjects to survive and return home safely. The next experiment that Boruto and the others get assigned to is formatted in a way to where that they all are to hold a candle and then proceed onwards. That candle is supposedly directly linked to their own souls and their life force. That's interesting. Does that mean something with Momoshiki's gonna happen? Hold on, I had to break from the synopsis on this because Boruto has two souls inside of him. That's interesting. Now, amongst the group, there are those who are willing to try and sacrifice other people in order to save themselves. On the other hand, there are people like Gankabuki Kisara. If I said that name wrong, totally apologize. Those who are likewise from the Konoha village who are willing to cooperate with Boruto. Together, their aim is to overcome the situation, save all the other test subjects as well. However, Oga's experiments keep mercilessly driving Boruto and the others into a corner. So that's interesting. So it looks like what we're going to be seeing here, this is good for Boruto. I like this because what we're seeing is that Boruto's learning. He already knows the world isn't black and white, but he still has some of that naive nature to him. And situations like this where you're going to have to make those morally tough decisions and you're not going to be able to save everyone, that's something that Boruto learned briefly in the Funato clan arc, but Boruto at the same time is able to talk and reach out through understanding and emotions. The sad thing about life, and it's something he'll learn when he travels with Sasuke, the sad thing about life is that there are some people that you just can't reason with. No matter how much you want to, you can't reason with. And unfortunately, death is an inescapable aspect of life. It's hard to accept and it's hard to watch people die, but it is one of those things where unfortunately that's part of the journey of life, but that's also part of the beauty of life. And Boruto seeing all these people drop around him is going to make him double down even further into wanting to be the Shadow Hokage to protect people, because once you've seen people put through the things that these people are being put through, it makes you want to fight harder for justice, make sure that other people don't have to suffer in this manner. This is something that Sasuke saw during his travels, which is why I tell you guys, you really need to read the light novels to fully appreciate Sasuke's redemption journey, which is a big part of the reason why I hope they continue making manga versions of the light novels, because I know manga is a lot easier than actually sitting down and reading light novels. Now, over on Twitter, the super talented Brenton is actually drawing one of the Naruto novels. It's the Sakura Hida novel where Sakura fights that pseudo-tailed beast, and you have a moment where Sasuke shows up at the end of that novel in order to fight some people taking those tailed beast drugs. That actually lays the foundation for some of the ninja tech you see in Boruto. Follow him on Twitter if you want to see it. Brenton is a very, very talented artist, and I enjoy seeing his work. And because he's taken so much of his time to draw this out, I very strongly recommend giving the guy a follow, and I want to do what I can to support him, which is why I'm showing you guys his artwork, because his manga is good. I fully expect them whenever they hold contests to allow Western people to enter their stuff in the Shonen Jump. I expect them to win something. We're seeing Boruto learn a lesson that Sasuke learned on his travels. So I like seeing this, and according to Organic Dinosaur, we have another translator note here. Much appreciations, because we do not get this with Viz Media. Viz Media very rarely uses translator notes. So according to this one, she's saying Gankabuki means head or neck. Kiseru has three different meanings that are interesting here. Firstly, you can use this one to describe someone who cheats on paying for a full fare train ticket price by only purchasing the beginning and end parts of the trip. And then secondly, you can use it to mean to pin the blame on someone else, to soil someone else's reputation, or to guilt/remind someone of a debt. The plain normal way to read this kanji is just to cover or to wear an article of clothing. So yeah, so that's part of the thing with Japanese. You guys have heard me say multiple times, Japanese has three different alphabets in terms of different lettering systems, and depending on how you read it and how you look at the way that the words are used in context, translations go one way or the other. That's why you don't use Google Translate on a lot of this stuff. Which, side note, hopefully the guy that translated the Jujutsu Kaisen chapter that just came out gets the memo on that, because he butchered the translation for what Kenjaku said about Gojo and Gito being strong enough to take over entire nations. He butchered that one. Well, based off of what she's putting here, if I had to guess, there might be the possibility possibility that Gon Kabuki might be someone that is cutting corners here. Yes, they're from Konoha Village, and the people from Konoha Village are likely to be working with Boruto. However, at the same time, there's a possibility that because other people are dying around this person, they could potentially turn. That's interesting right there. I like that. That's an interesting decision. Now, episode 278 is going to be airing on December 4th, and this one's titled Musical Chairs. This was also published via Animedia magazine. Now, the synopsis of this reads, all the test subjects are exhausted because of Olga's experiments. Then one of the test subjects suddenly started to talk about their own aspirations. Using that as an impetus, Boruto and the others then discuss amongst themselves about their own dreams. One after the other, they chat about their ambitions for the future, for when they all survived this ordeal and got home safely. For those moments, things seem to become a bit calmer and peaceful for the group. However, Olga is preparing a new experiment and will force the test subject to participate in it. Moreover, one of the test subjects in the group has gotten a bit too carried away. They start to behave rashly. Because of that, everyone's lives are thrown into a crisis where their lives are put on the line once again. So that's interesting right there, because usually when you start getting all of the information in terms of, hey, these are my dreams and this is what I want to do, we all know, like, okay, that person's probably gonna die. I like that right there. That's gonna be interesting, just in the sense that when you go through these different ordeals that you're going through, like Boruto is, it's going to make you get attached. And the thing with Boruto, and Sasuke warned him about this in the episode that we just finished this week, which is that Boruto tends to throw himself and get too invested in matters that don't necessarily involve him. It's great to want to help people, but it's also one of those things where Boruto's learning the hard way that for as good intention as you are, there are some times where you can't stick your own neck out there for somebody. So that's gonna be interesting just to see how Boruto's able to handle this, because it's getting to a point where it looks like Boruto's gonna have to choose himself over somebody else, and those are some of those hard decisions that have to be made, because Boruto can't save everyone, and because he's as emotional as he is, because he's as sheltered as he is, he's going to want to try and save everyone. But the harsh reality is that he can't, and how he handles that is going to be big for this character. Now, in this synopsis, in all of, we haven't heard from Sasuke since Sasuke saw Boruto go off, so my guess is that there's going to be something else going on with Sasuke that we see in the episodes themselves, because the writer for this arc did state that this was going to be a Boruto and Sasuke arc. So that's going to be very interesting to see what involvement they have for Sasuke. If I had to guess, he's probably running around looking for Boruto, looking into the people behind what Olga's doing with these experiments. That probably has something to do with Suzaru's grandmother or something else going on in that village that they visited. That's going to be interesting. And because this is a prologue, I'm wondering, because usually the prologue arcs, like the Hozuki Castle arc, the arc that you have for the car actuation, the little mini arc that you had before all this stuff with Jigen took place, usually those prologue arcs lead directly into manga content. And like I reported earlier this year, they did say that there was going to be a setup arc for the code arc. This came via leak, but there was going to be a setup arc for the code arc, and that the code arc was going to begin happening in Q1 of 2023. And this 8-episode arc would be ending right when we get to Jump Festa. And when you look at what Studio Pierrot has on their plate, there's an announcement for the Boruto anime. So that's going to be interesting. I think that more than likely we're going to get the announcement for something dealing with code at the Jump Festa stage. That's what I would bet. And this arc right here, we've already potentially seen a link to something in the manga, because we got that Senri Hawk, and we know that Ada has a Senrigan. I'm not saying the Hawk and Ada Senrigan are tied together, but the wording that's used for the name is very loose, and we've seen little small nods done in the past before. So what I want to know from you guys is, which of these episodes grabbed your attention the most? Let me know down in the comment section below.